Hey guys, it's Kestor Raptorial again. So it's the evening of November 7th, 2016. Tomorrow is the 2016 presidential election. We'll all be going to the ballots, voting either Democrat or Republican for Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump. Now, over the course of this summer, I would see a lot of signs around my neighborhood and around others with those ballot check boxes for each candidate. Each would have an X through it, and the sign would say, "We want better options." Well, it's been too late for a long time. I mentioned long ago, look, if we want better options for presidential candidates, we have to vote for better options. We have to vote for people who are honest, ready to give us the hard truth, ready to look at real world solutions rather than some magical fantasy land of free stuff and completely open borders with not even any intelligent discrimination, as the Democrats want. We can't play that game anymore. The world is in way too much trouble right now. Hillary Clinton, for example, has herself stated that she wants to establish no-fly zones in Syria, which is a region of the world where Russia is fighting ISIS, among other places. If we shoot down any Russian planes, it is easily reason to trigger another global scale war between Russia and the United States. And I'm really not sure the United States has the ability to win a world war at this point. I don't think anyone wants a war on that scale anyway. Russia is succeeding in fighting ISIS far more than we are. We should be negotiating beneficial, mutual relationships with them. As much as we may not like Putin or the Russian system right now, although it's been improving in recent years, still has a long way to go. Every country still has a long way to go. And Donald Trump will do that. This is the last call out I can make before the election to people to vote for Donald Trump. He is the best hope America has right now. And regardless of how much you may not like him, he is the general that is going to deal with the ridiculous, out of control debt that we have. Everyone knows that that's real. We do need to deal with the out of control immigration. A country must protect its borders. A country has a right to protect its borders. And Obama has sent people out of the country before. Obama has deported. I was looking for the word. Deported people before, so it's not something that is going to be unique to Donald Trump. Now, Obama has been completely behind Hillary Clinton. as president, he really shouldn't be doing this. He should be everyone's president. He should be the leader of the country as a whole, not just a leader of the Democrats, which is exactly what he's been. Obama acts, and probably believes he is, a great civil rights leader. But the country is not what he thinks it is. It is not one of the most racist countries in the world. America is actually perhaps the least racist country in the world. And all the race baiting, all the race wars that have been emerging since the disproportionate retaliation of police shootings, of many of them criminals, have been these race riots are based on, in most cases, faulty information. Assumptions even before the information has come out. And Obama has done nothing but fuel the race war. He's driving people apart, has been driving people apart instead of bringing them together, which is not what he promised to do. He has openly said to blacks that they are betraying their race if they vote for Donald Trump. No respect of personal judgment or choice there. As with Hillary Clinton, women are rallying around Hillary Clinton. Many of them, of course. I don't want to say all of them, not all of them, but certainly most in my family, who have also made me out to be a monster for voting for Donald Trump, even though I don't see him as a monster at all. I may not like the way he talks about people sometimes. I find him rude and crude at times, but that's not something we have the luxury of worrying about right now. Not when the world is in the crisis it is in. Not when we're so close to a possible next global or nuclear war. Now, a lot of women support Hillary Clinton for the sole reason that she is a woman. There was even an article in my old newsletter from my old high school that my siblings brought back, talking about new classes on women's studies, holding up examples. Hillary Clinton being one of them, holding her up as on a pedestal as a role model. Hillary Clinton is really not the person you want to be choosing as a role model. She has lied again and again and again. And anytime she has been confronted with her lies or her crimes, she and the Republican Party just brush them aside. Oh, well, she says the words, I take full responsibility, but just saying those words means nothing at all. If you don't back it up with effort and actions to actually resolve the problem. She accuses Russia of having hacked America's security with no evidence at all and no real responsibility for leaving America's secrets, national security out in the open for anyone to take. She and the Democrats ask, is Donald Trump really the person we want with access or with their finger on the nuclear arms button? Donald Trump has repeatedly said that he wants to pursue peaceful solutions. He wants negotiations with Russia. He wants to put a halt on immigration to America until we have a better idea of what we're dealing with and actually what to do about the screening for immigrants who may be terrorists against those who truly are refugees. Something that we are not doing right now. We are not doing well at all. The wall across the Mexican border is, in fact, a good idea. Now, let me ask you something. In the film, America, What Would the World Be Without Her? Which is a great film. I highly recommend it. It's mentioned that across the U.S.-Mexican border, immigrants have, for a very long time, been crossing into the United States from Mexico. But no one has ever been seen across the border trying to cross from the United States back into Mexico. So, when Mexicans or Mexican descendants say that the United States stole the Mexican territory, stole the southwest region from Mexico, and that it should be Mexico, well, then why are they all fleeing to the United States instead of the other way around? Mexico seems to be the place these people want to get away from. So if the only problem they have with the United States is perceived stolen territory, and admittedly I don't know a huge amount of the Mexican-U.S. history, the history of the territorial exchange, but I do know this. Human history has been a long chain of territorial changes between countries, between tribes, between conquerors and conquered. Same thing with war, same thing with slavery, actually. Blacks will often blame the wage, the education, the performance gap on between Black Americans and white Americans, generally speaking, on past slavery, the history of slavery, which has been over for around 150 years, give or take. I don't have the exact year in front of me, but that's They will blame it on. They'll blame any perceived racism on white supremacy and we was slaves. Well, okay, yeah, some of your ancestors were slaves 4 generations ago. It's been over for a long time. None of you alive today have been slaves. And by the way, at the time the Atlantic slave trade was going on, slavery was still happening all over the world. The entire world was engaged in this. It was not unique to America. In fact, the Atlantic slave trade was less cruel, although how much that means, I don't know. Slavery in itself is extremely cruel, of course.